A burning California landfill has made neighbors miserable for 3 years. For 3 years, this old closed landfill has been burning. It used to be 30 acres underground burning. Now it's expanded to 90, and people are getting really sick. What are state officials doing? Not a lot. That's the point. Let's get into it. Here we go. Let's watch a quick video.
People living near the Chiquita Canyon landfill in Castaic are frustrated. They gathered in downtown LA today, asking the Board of Supervisors to declare a state of emergency.
The residents believe the owners of the landfill are not taking proper steps to contain a rare chemical reaction that is making people sick and causing a horrible stench.
Yeah, looks terrible. Click the dump.
LA with the latest, Angeli.
Sharon, Micah, good evening to you both. Listen, the call for emergency by residents today wasn't on the official agenda, but that didn't stop community members from coming out and making their voices heard. Holding signs that read, "Clean air is a right," and "Stop poisoning us."
Day before yesterday, it smelled like dead animals. It was just disgusting.
One by one.
My friends at school say they would rather get hurt or injured than smell the dump.
Frustrated residents from the Santa Clarita area, flanked by their children, gathered in downtown
Los
Angeles on Tuesday to ask the Board of Supervisors to call for a state of emergency.
It's really bad. I've had people throw up next to me and blatantly get very hurt.
Citing an offensive odor coming from the
Doesn't sound good.
659-acre Chiquita Canyon landfill that's been troubling neighbors for years, leading to prolonged exposure to dangerous gases.
For me, it's headaches. And I have this dizzy feeling and I feel really tired.
And it gave me a cough for 3 months already.
Today, Los Angeles County announced a new lawsuit against the owners of Chiquita Canyon landfill, alleging the operators have failed to quell the smell. This year, the State Department of Toxic Substances found multiple violations at Chiquita Canyon. And while the lawsuit says the owners, Waste Connections, Inc., have taken steps to remain in compliance with EPA guidelines, like installing gas extraction wells, the county says it's not enough, and they're seeking an injunction to force the owners to fully stop the smell.
They need to shut it down.
Organizers for Citizens for Chiquita Canyon closure say while the suit is a good first step,
however, immediate action needs to be taken. We need a state of emergency to get these people relocated, to get the schools relocated. We need the landfill to be shut down forever, and of course, held responsible for what has taken place.
Let me tell you, folks, there's something that absolutely drives me crazy. And that's data brokers. These companies are out there collecting your personal information, your address, phone number, email, and selling it to the highest bidder without your consent. And believe me, they're making a killing off of it. Ever wonder why you get bombarded with spam calls and texts? It's because some data broker sold your number to a marketing agency. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. These brokers are also posting your personal information, like your home address, on people search sites. That means anyone, whether it's a scammer, a nosy neighbor, or someone you'd rather avoid, they can find it. That's where Incogni steps in. Incogni doesn't just remove your data from these brokers, it keeps it off. I've used it myself, and let me tell you, it's a relief knowing my information isn't floating around online for anyone to grab. As someone who puts my opinions out there publicly, I know how important it is to protect my privacy. And honestly, it should matter to you. Incogni makes it easy, and right now, they're offering a great deal. Head to incogni.com/reasonable and use code REASONABLE for 60% off their annual plan. That's a steal to keep your private information private. Don't wait on this. Your personal data is too important to leave exposed. Again, go to incogni.com/reasonable, use the code, and take back your privacy today. So before we go too far, let's take a look and see exactly where this is. Here you got downtown LA. Here you got Thousand Oaks. All right, Chiquita Canyon landfill permanently closed. Oh, if only that was true, right? If only that were true. Cal Matters had the original story, has had some of the original stories on this. Let's take a quick peek at what they got going on. For more than 2 years, Assemblymember Pilar Chiavo's constituents have been complaining to her about the stench and fumes that they've been breathing since trash buried at the Chiquita Canyon landfill in Southern California ignited and never stopped burning. And they're saying this is going to go on for up to 10 years. So you've just got all this garbage that's burning up other garbage. It is a chemical reaction, and you've got a chemical fire. So what are you going to do to get rid of this? You're going to contain the garbage and pull out the burning chemical ignited garbage pile. You're going to somehow get that into dump trucks and haul it off. You're going to contain it somehow. So far, they haven't been able to contain it, right? Because it's burning, and they're like, it's going to go another 10 years and it should be okay. I watched one woman talk about how one of her friends had blood coming out of her eye sockets. I mean, just, that's in this environment. Terrible. 𝗧𝗜𝗑𝗏𝗧𝗑𝗏, a Democrat representing the Santa Clarita Valley, north of LA, decided to spend the night as a guest of one of the 639-acre landfill's closest neighbors. She wanted to experience for herself what life is like for the hundreds of people who've complained about the noxious fumes since the underground chemical reaction started below the 𝗪𝗏𝗘𝗠𝗦𝗧𝗏 landfill in May 2022. It's not known this has already been burning for 3 years. It's just going, and people are like, this is terrible. This smells awful. And local politicians are, just hold your nose, right? And people getting really sick. People are probably dying from the toxicity coming off of this. It's not known what caused the chemical reaction, but a state official said that this week the burn zone had grown underground to an estimated 90 acres. 90 acres. That's a big burn. That is kicking off some real toxins, right? 90 acres, that's a big, big site. I've appraised number of 100-acre farms, that kind of thing. When you start looking around at close to 100 acres, it is a massive, massive area. Even 1 acre, a home on 1 acre, 43,560 square feet. It's big. Multiply that by 100. Yeah, it's massive. So you've got a massive area just kicking off some incredible toxins, chemical. As the landfill belches a stench like rotten milk, residents allege chemical emissions are making them sick, and it could keep burning for years. When she arrived in Val Verde, it didn't take long before 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 got a pounding headache. Her skin felt itchy. When she woke up the following day, she was disturbed to get her first bloody nose in years. Yeah, her body is saying, we don't like what's coming into us right now. We don't like the air and the whatever it is you're breathing into us. People are getting sick, 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 said in a video diary taken on her phone during her stay in fall. People are being barricaded in their homes. People are being barricaded in their homes and not opening windows and doors and not letting kids come out and play on trampolines because they're afraid of breathing the air. We have to get people out of here, keep them safe. This week, the State Assembly held its first committee hearing for legislation, Assembly Bill 27, a measure co-authored by 6 Southern California Democrats that would spare residents from paying taxes on the compensation they have received from the landfill's owner. The relief fund set up by Texas-based Waste Connections can be used to pay for additional costs such as higher electricity from running air filters and air conditioners and for temporary housing. We are poisoning you, but here's a little discount. Here's a little bit of money so you can offset all the energy you're spending running AC filters, air filters. Because the air that we're creating from our underground dump is so bad that we're just going to give you a little bit of offset here. Faced with lawsuits from residents in Los Angeles County, Waste Connections opened the fund from March 24th to February to the residents of Val Verde, Live Oak, Hasley Hills, Hillcrest Parkway, Hasley Canyon, and Stevenson Ranch. The company didn't respond to an interview request. Hey, you want to do an interview with us? I don't think so. Yeah, we got to tend to the fire. We got to stoke the fire back here. It might go out. Yeah. But it says on its website that the payments were expected to exceed $25 million. I mean, how many lawsuits is this going to result from if it keeps going another 10 years, right? Out of control. In December, the company said in response to a lawsuit that 1,829 households had received funding. What kind of no disclaimer did they have to give to get that funds? What kind of non-compete agreement would they be forced to sign? Hey, we need you to be real quiet about this. Nothing's going on here. In addition, Chiquita has distributed nearly 3,000 air purifiers. Oh, that's fantastic. Just a bunch of air purifiers. Hey, we're polluting you and we're, causing you extreme toxicity to your environment. Here's an air filter. Good luck with that. I hope it's better. 3,000 air purifiers to local residents, a cost of over $1 million. Again, what will some of the lawsuits of this be down the road? There's got to be massive liability. You just got a dump that's literally on fire, just kicking off. And it's paid to ensure every school near the landfill has carbon filtration in every classroom and multi-purpose space. Don't you think we should do something about the fire? Can we not do anything about the fire? Is this so bad that there's just no way? No, we got 90 acres on a blaze. It's underground. Don't see it. But boy, if you go close to it, you smell it. It smells like rotten eggs. That just sounds terrible, right? Sulfur. When you go up high on mountains and you get close to like on Rainier, get about 3/4 of the way up, maybe a little bit further than that. I think it's above Disappointment Cleaver. It starts to smell like rotten eggs. It's that sulfur coming up. It's that magma. The company maintains that it has taken steps to try to contain the reaction. But just this week, state officials told community members in 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡 that the underground heat zone had expanded beyond a plastic cover over the landfill surface to try to contain emissions. This thing's just out of control, right? It's burning up. Everybody smells bad. It's terrible, making people sick. A lot of liability. Stephen House, 50, is one of the residents who's accepted the company's funds. He told the Assembly Revenue and Taxation Committee that the money helped make life somewhat more bearable for his family, whose home is just 1,600 feet from the 53-year-old landfill that stopped trucking in more trash late last year. House's family, like many of its neighbors, claims the landfill's emissions have made them sick. It probably has. If you're literally breathing in toxins from burned up garbage at the dump, who knows what kind of chemicals is in that, right? I find it crazy that officials aren't just all over this, that they're like, well, yeah, it's burning. Should we do something about it? He said his wife was recently diagnosed with breast cancer and one of their 4 children was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease. Is this random? No, they're getting it from their environment, right? He said he's constantly battling respiratory illnesses. Well, you're breathing air just loaded with chemicals and toxins. Your body isn't meant to, be in an environment like that, but it is. And so how does it handle it? Well, as best it can. You cough a lot. He didn't tell the community how much he received, but he said he used the cash for upgrades for his home to harden it to prepare for wildfires. Man, he's battling wildfires, toxins in his environment. What's next? He also had to upgrade the home's air conditioning system and buy new air filters and windows to try to keep the stench out. Boy, this is an example of external obsolescence. You got something outside that is a form of depreciation outside of your site that's coming in, that's making it smell real bad. Used to be in Tacoma. We used to call it the aroma of Tacoma because it smelled bad. You had just a bunch of, pulp mills that smelled terrible. Longview, Washington, same thing. Pulp mills just, smell that. Now that smells terrible. And Rainier Brewery used to be right off of I-5, just kind of south of downtown Seattle. Man, the smell from that. Every single time when I was a kid, we're headed south somewhere. Down to Longview, where my grandma was. You'd go by and you knew when you were by the brewery because it was like, ooh, that smells terrible. Whatever that chemical reaction is when you brew up a bunch of beer. But Rainier Brewing always had that. They had the big R right there. Or was it Olympia? I think it was Rainier. Not really sure. A lot of times we had to leave the area due to the toxins because it would be so bad at our house, he said. We also used the funds to take our RV trailer out of the area or visit family when we just couldn't take it any longer. What a terrible environment to be living in. Just, shut it down. Save Valverde. LA County, shut it down. Well, I mean, it sounds like the dump has been shut down. Effectively, it's been shut down. But the impact remains, right? Just burning away. Underground is burning away. House has a job in the film industry, but 𝗧𝗧𝗏 said that other low-income residents who qualify for state assistance programs have been bumped up to a higher tax bracket after taking the payments. My concern has been that if you take those funds, then you no longer qualify for CalFresh or Medi-Cal. Does it count against you because of that? I mean, it shouldn't, but I get it. How much money did you make? Good Lord, you got a settlement there. Are you paying taxes now on this when the money comes in and it goes right out to pay for the costs that are associated with living with this disaster? I mean, just disaster, right? Imagine living next door to that, living close. 1,600 feet. I mean, that is, what is that? A mile is 5,200 feet. So, is it a quarter mile? Is that about a quarter mile? I mean, you're in close proximity. You got some toxic thing burning underground that's 90 acres and you're a quarter mile away. Yeah, it's just not good. In the meantime, residents aren't likely to get tax relief from the federal government. Of course not. Of course not. Federal government is too busy paying for health benefits from the illegals, people who aren't residents, people who haven't paid into the tax base, for their whole lives. Unlike these folks who just happen to roll the dice on living in a really unlucky neighborhood next to a toxic, on fire, underground dump, like the kid said. It smells like the dump. Late last year, President Joe Biden signed into law a bill that exempted wildfire settlement payments from federal income taxes. But this isn't a wildfire. It's an underground landfill fire, right? Landfill's relief funds don't count since the Chiquita County landfill site has never been declared an official state or federal disaster. It sounds like it's in the making. Why isn't it a disaster? Why isn't it a disaster? Why hasn't this been declared a disaster? People are getting sick. People are bleeding from their eyes. You know what I mean? Just, it's some kind of weird horror movie gone sideways, right? Why are you bleeding? I've been living next to the toxic dump that's on fire. Meanwhile, residents have filed more than 25,000 complaints. Holy cow. Local air quality officials since 2023. That's just, that is horrific. As an example of how residents might be breathing potentially toxic fumes, air quality officials noted early last year, the local air monitoring data has showed that more than 1/3 of all readings exceeded state standards for hydrogen sulfide. That's that sulfur smell, right? Just the rotten eggs. Oh, that's terrible. Which the the EPA says can cause eye irritation? Yeah. Headaches and fatigue, as well as potentially causing cancer or be lethal in highly concentrated doses. But go ahead, take our tiny settlement, and we hope you're okay. Buy some air purifiers and, get away for the weekend every now and then. Maybe go to the coast, get that fresh air going. Sounds like a lot of liability here. And where are all the politicians that are just outraged? Where are they? In June, the U.S. EPA also cited the landfill company for violating various regulations intended to safeguard human health. This just sounds like another train wreck, doesn't it? Company is facing potential civil penalties up to $59,000 for each day of violation. Yeah, but that'll go to court. You'll have this back and forth. Meanwhile, little Jimmy and Susie are, huffing the fumes, right? EPA cannot comment on ongoing investigations. Okay, that's comforting. 𝗧𝗧𝗏 said that her night's stay next to the landfill made it clear to her that residents need to get out of there until the trash stops burning. That is my thought. It's not really a thought of, hey, let's try and mitigate the impacts here. If it's blowing around in the air, and I know You need to get out. But some people, their kids are there, their lives are there, their home is there. I mean, good luck selling this home next to this landfill, right? You imagine on the Form 17, which is it's the seller property disclosure statement. Are there any external environmental concerns you might have about your residence? Well, just right over there, you can smell it. You can smell it. There's a massive landfill that no longer brings in garbage, but, this chemical reaction happened and 30 acres burned up. It's just been burning for 3 years, and now it's 90 acres, and it's just getting bigger and more stuff kicked up into the air, and people are getting cancer. Beyond that, I mean, it's a great location. This is 2 thumbs up. This is the dream neighborhood that, you and your young children, if they make it to teenage years, you guys are going to have a great time here. This is going to be the best. No, it's terrible, right? People are probably literally dying as we speak. But hey, go out and get a new air filter system for your home. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Kids, on the way home from school, don't breathe until we get home. Terrible. Terrible. People are in this terrible situation where they can't afford to leave because housing is so expensive. And now, after the LA fires, it's almost impossible. So, if your house didn't burn down, you are low on the totem pole of priority. You got some toxic smells in your house? Well, at least you got a house. Yeah, ours totally burned down. People's homes didn't burn down. They're complaining about toxic smells. Yeah, when your whole neighborhood burns up, not good, right? Just not good. And if you sell, who's going to want to buy it? That is my thought here is who's going to take a flyer on that? Hey, let's rent it out. For the next 10 years as the underground toxic chemical reaction fire burns itself out. All right. Yeah. Hey, we'll give you a 2-year lease if you don't die first. I mean, who's going to want to buy it? Then if you're leaving, you have this moral dilemma. People are like, I don't want to sell to someone else. And then if they start getting sick or their kids start getting sick, it's this horrible situation. We just have to relocate people out there right now until it's safe for folks to go back. Well, that would be after they dig up the entire contents of this landfill and sequester it so it doesn't burn further, right? Something along those lines. I am no fire mitigation expert, but whole thing. You hear the LA Times. State orders the Chiquita Canyon landfill to take corrective measures or face fines. Like $70,000 a day, I think is another quote I saw. Smoldering chemical reaction inside Chiquita County landfill has tripled in size. The intense heat is causing portions of the landfill to sink, including beneath a storage area for hazardous leachate. Now you got the leachate problem, right? State officials are ordering the landfill's owner to take steps to prevent the contamination of nearby sources of water. Yeah, let's go back to our little our dealie here. Check this out. I mean, this can't be good. This can't be good. So you are literally downhill, you're uphill from the Santa Clara River. That cannot be a good thing. I mean, you're across Highway 126. Now, underground water, it goes where it goes. There's no way this isn't leaching into water sources. So you guys need to get an air filter and a water filter. Just terrible. So just a horrible situation in essentially north of Los Angeles. And this is an area where you've got a lot of acreage. You got people on acreage settings. It's not that dense housing deal. So not that matters because either which way, anybody living next to this it sounds like is getting sick. But they've known that. But I think what folks didn't expect is, underground fire? Yeah. Because what a lot of these folks were told was, yep, there is a landfill on the Form 17 seller disclosure form. There is a landfill, but it's being shut down. Everything's fine. Should be okay. You'll only smell it on days where the wind kicks up the smelly stuff and just brings it to your neighborhood. Well, now you got a a burn, literally a burn. And it's got to be bad enough where the company is just like, well, just got to let it burn itself out. 10 years later, literally, it's what they're estimating. 10 years later. Where are the politicians? Oh, the politicians that are responsible for this. I mean, the mayor, when they have a massive wildfire, the mayor was in Ghana. Huh? Yeah. So that kind of shows the level of responsibility that politicians have towards their constituents because, big fire comes, you want to make sure you're there. Nah, off in Ghana and then rushed back and, tried to pretend that everything was normal. So when you've got that going on and you've literally got a massive, massive landfill that is on fire, 90 acres worth, you got this going on. You got the wildfire rebuilding. You've got budget deficits left and right. But let's go ahead and vote in Kamala Harris as governor of California. See how that goes. That should be excellent. Or better yet, let's vote Gavin Newsom, governor of all this nonsense, in as president of the United States. Let's Californicate all the rest of the United States. It should work out great. It should be excellent. It should be great. Super high housing. Everything's expensive. Big, huge state income tax. Crime unfettered. Just homelessness everywhere. Drugs, you betcha. And the list just goes on. Go ahead and keep voting blue. That's what you want to do. I mean, that's where it's really at. Just keep voting blue and all this will go away, including the 90 acres of underground chemical reaction fire that's going unabated. 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗏 Canyon landfill. Oof. We're going to follow up on this story because this is literally not going away, right? This has massive, massive, massive lawsuits written all over it because you can only contain this thing for so long. And then you're like, good Lord, we got to declare bankruptcy because they're going to sue us. They're going to win. I mean, talk about where's Erin Brockovich? Where is she in all of this? We need her out there. Just smell. You don't have to do that whole water on the leather thing that, who was that? Give me a second. That was Robert Duvall he was involved in, right? Yeah, it was Robert Duvall and Julia Roberts and wild stuff, right? All right. That's all I got on this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up in the next one. Bye for now.